I want to share a little bit about why many people have asked me the question, why am I in Kenya? And what am I doing here? And what has brought me here? So for me, Greece, for example, Greece brought in a lot of the system work, a really deep wisdom and knowledge about system work, and also the awareness that everything is systems. And over the years, while living in Greece, I was really guided to go to specific locations and drop into ancient wisdom, ancient knowledge, ancient blueprints of how systems work. And that's really what was teaching me about the system work, how to work with a leader, how to be a mother, how to be a father, how systems work, how to do healing work, how to work with finances, how to work with politics. All these systems were already there. So if you see them like blueprints, archetypal information, which helps us to remember and also helps us to upgrade to the next level. So it's almost like our core pillar of ourselves. So if you see, there's different pillars of ourselves. So a pillar to be a leader, a pillar to be a father, a pillar to be a mother, a pillar to be a child, a pillar to create, a pillar to be an artist, and a pillar to be an actor, actress, a pillar to be a banker, a pillar to be a politician. So what I've been working with, and that's why I've been drawn to travel so much, is to how to support someone to rebuild the pillar. Because when there's separation from creation, and maybe it's someone's essence expression that wants to be a leader. So, what is in the way of that? For me, it's always to work with what is in the way of it so we can ground the leader back into himself or herself. And that's where Kenya came in for me as well. It's like it, I got a lot of system work from the archetypes, for example, living in Greece and going to ancient temples and ancient archetypes and working with these archetypes on a human level to integrate them into my DNA, to integrate them into my system. Kenya, what has Kenya brought in? Kenya has brought in a lot of information about system work and how to work with the ancestors and how to work with the forest in a much deeper way than I've experienced before. And also the connection with the ancestors and the ancient archetypes is very much alive. For example, when I'm in Greece, or in Europe, it's there, but it's not practiced. Here, a lot of the ancient knowledge is practiced still at the moment. And there's tribes still working from these systems, using the knowledge, using the ancient knowledge and living it. So that's why I feel I was drawn to come here, was to tap into the field of consciousness with the different tribes, because each tribe has different knowledge and different systems which they're working with and which they've integrated and which they're living at the moment. So since I've been in Kenya, it's really helped me to drop deeper into myself, into my roots. And that's what Spirit told me years ago was, Africa is about your roots. And since being in Kenya, I've worked, for example, through Washington and his tribe about the information of how a newborn is born and working with the placenta, the umbilical cord, for example, as a way of registering that child in the system to the ancestors and then releasing the trauma which was experienced between mom and dad in the birthing experience or in the womb. So that helped me to go back into my own roots and reconnect with my ancestral roots. And then what came in was the knowledge of how to work with the ancestors, and then to know how much of the traits, the characters of the ancestors are living within me, because within my blood, within my DNA is the coding of our ancestors. And the more we know about our ancestors, I realize the more we can transform our lives and live our soul expression. Because our soul expression, what is in the way of that is the characters of our ancestors, our own characters as well, or the characters of our mom and dad. So by being here, it's really helped me to bring more awareness to how to realize actually and how to accept how much my ancestors are affecting me, how much of the characters and behavior patterns of my ancestors are affecting me, and then how to release them and how the systems work. So Kenya for me has been a huge gift, and a huge gift of awareness of how systems, ancestral systems, are affecting us first, how much they get in the way, and how much they can go against us, but then how much they can support us. So it really brought in the balance back into the system. Another huge gift I received while being here is this connection with the forest, and that also was through Washington's tribe, was through the roots of the forest, to realize that the roots, and also being here in Nairobi with this ancient forest behind me, it's really bringing in this awareness of the forest system as a whole ecosystem, as a system that supports oneself, like each member of the forest, and how much we have lost that connection with self, with ourselves, but also with our community. So this is really helping me to integrate the knowledge and the wisdom of how to unpack, how to unblock what is blocking me from the community system, the community higher self, so to speak. Because this forest is thriving, so why are we not thriving as a community, and what is in the way? Now, since I've been here as well, on this trip especially, what's come in a lot is, on this trip, is the colonial wounds. For me, the colonial wounds are very, very strong in the system here in Kenya and have not been worked with deep enough. The wounds of slavery, the wounds of colonialism. This has been too fast for me, I've observed in the system, and that's why there's a lot of corruption in the system and entitlement in the system. So for me, it's very important to drop into these colonial wounds and responsibilities and going deeper into the system. And that also is a work that I'm integrating in the system at the moment, because I realize that because of the colonial wounds, it's created a lot of separation and a lot of mistrust and a lot of entitlement, and then a lot of corruption here in Kenya. And this is happening throughout the whole planet, because what happened in Kenya has happened in Ireland. It's happened in many countries with the wounds of colonialism. And these wounds, I feel, have not been, for me, it's very important to accept they were heavy, to accept they were unhuman behavior. And it was really, really deep destruction in the system and disconnection from a tribe that was presented to the world as primitive, but was completely the parallel opposite of that. And the more I connect with the tribes, I realized how much knowledge and how wise they are and how integrated they are with the whole ecosystem. And the colonials came and broke the system and called them savages and primitive, where it was actually the opposite. And this is what I realized, and this is the work I feel I have to do here as well. It's about integrating these colonial wounds and bringing a deeper understanding of what is in the system. And then the different tribes, and then how the Indian community are, how the English community are, how the French, how the Dutch communities are in the system here. So how the ancestors are against or working for. So the ancestral work has really, really been deep in the system. And these wounds of corruption, these wounds of entitlement, these wounds of superiority is very, very strong on the world basis. And this brings in the world corruption. So I feel that the archetypes of world corruption and unhuman behavior comes in when this disconnection from source, disconnection from the family, disconnection from the father, disconnection from the mother, disconnection from the ancestors. Because when you feel separated from the community, separated from yourself, separated from your ancestors, separate from your mom, your dad, then you're separating yourself from Mother Earth, you're separating yourself from source, from God, from creation. If you separate from Mother Earth, it brings you up into your mind and it dissociates you. And when this dissociation in the system, then what comes in is split minds, and then comes in separation from Mother Earth. And then we start polluting Mother Earth. We start polluting our bodies. We're not listening to ourselves. Then with the separation of creation, which is the separation from my father, mistrust of father, meaning mistrust of father creator, that means I'm disconnected from my higher self. It means I'm going to be selfish. I'm going to be selfish in the system. I'm going to create systems of power, of money, of wealth, which is not creation. There is no issue with money. Money is about abundance, supporting. You can do amazing things for the community, for yourself, for your family with money. Money is life force. But when you disconnect from your channel, from Earth, then you're in split minds. And then the money and the power is misused. And these are the wounds I feel we need to address in the system, is the mother, the father, the split minds within the system. And while here in Kenya, I'm really working deep in the system. So there's been many, many blessings here. And I feel very deeply grateful and supported by the field here. And then the field brings up in my own system, because it's about ourselves, healing ourselves, what is in my own system. So as I'm sitting here, for example, with the forest brings up everything which is which is disconnected from my roots, from thriving, and also from the soul level. So yeah, it's been really, really a blessing, and so much information's been coming in. And I know it's only the tip of the iceberg. I know there's so much more here. And the animal kingdom, the plant kingdom is so powerful. The knowledge of the tribes, when integrated in the right way and connected in the right way, honorably, respectfully, also is extremely powerful. So it's about how you enter a system, how you become aware of the system, and what is happening within the system. So this is a little bit of why I'm here in Kenya and why I'm moving from country to country. So yeah, just wanted to share that small information with you and bringing in awareness that maybe you're in a new country, maybe you're in your own country, and there's gifts there for you. So it doesn't mean you need to move to new countries. It's simply to accept what's in your own system and what is happening within your own system and what gifts are there for you. So yeah, remembering that we are fully supported, we're in the right place, and there's gifts here for us so we can express our soul expression or see what is blocking us from our soul expression. So each country, each nation, each ancestors, each tribal information brings us new knowledge and information when you know how to enter the system and you know how to work with those systems. Thank you. Thank you for all your support. And yeah, I invite you to be inspired by what I just shared with you and just sit with it and see how that is working in your system and what is happening in the field around you. Thank you.